Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is going to be my first video that I'll have posted on here. Basically today I'm just going to talk a little bit about mental health since it is Mental Health Awareness Week. I'm also not going to be doing any edits to this video, so I'm not going to be cutting and cropping it. I'm probably just going to be stopping and starting and just putting the videos basically together, just because I want to keep it quite casual on my channel. So that's basically what I want to do today. I'm just going to talk a little bit about, like I said, mental health, but I'm just going to talk about my struggles really. I'm just going to talk about the struggles that I've had when I've been at some lows in my life as well, and the tools that I've managed to use that have got me through. Hopefully it might help some people, and hopefully it might help people open up as well, and talking about things. If not, at least you know my story and it's out there for everyone to see. Probably going to ramble on quite a bit in the video because that's what I do, and like I said, I'm not going to edit anything out, so probably I'll make a few little errors and say a few things that I probably didn't really want to say, but I am quite an open book. If you are my client, you already probably know most things about me. I don't keep things quiet. I do tend to tell people, but this is a little bit nerve-wracking for me since it is going to be going on a YouTube channel. And also since it's my first one, I am a little bit nervous, so just try and bear with me. If you do watch it, thank you so much for watching. Comment if you want to comment. You don't have to comment or write anything at all, but I do really appreciate you giving it a little watch. Okay, so I'm just going to start with have I always struggled with mental health? So no, I haven't always struggled with mental health. Growing up, I was quite confident, and I still am quite confident in ways, I suppose, but yeah, I was quite fearless, never suffered from anything, never really knew about anything, and I never ever got it when people had anxiety or they suffered with depression. I used to be like, well, why? Your life's so amazing, you've got so much going on around you. And then obviously when I did get it myself, you start to understand it a lot more. So around about, I'd say 2.5, 3 years ago, I started to notice myself have a little bit of mental health issues, and it probably backdated to a few things that went on in my life a little bit earlier. So yeah, certain things that go on in our lives, obviously in the past, can always come up and crop and affect us in the future. If we don't deal with the situations at the time, this is what I've learned now. So things that happened in my past did massively affect me in the future mentally, and it was a case of how I dealt with it and how I was trying to deal with things. I'm quite a person where I'd rather get something dealt with straight away and sorted, and because I haven't got time for it, I feel like I have too much going on, too many things that we're doing with work, personal life. I just feel like, well, no one has time for mental health, no one wants time for mental health. You just want to put it in a little box in the back of your head, and you don't really want to have to deal with it. But doing that and suppressing them feelings 9 times out of 10 makes it 10 times worse in the future for you. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the things that did affect me in the past, what happened, and then how they affected me in the future and how it all began really. So around about, it'll be 4 years next month. I did actually have to pause the video then because my heart is beating so fast, but I'm just going to get it out so you can talk about it. So I'm not usually like this for things like this. So around about 4 years ago next month, I lost my mum due to cancer. She'd been ill for around 3.5 years. Now, at the time when we lost my mum, I wouldn't say it was cold-hearted. I'm not cold-hearted in the slightest, because I do obviously care a lot about things, and obviously that was a massive thing, and I was distraught and obviously devastated that happened. But at the time, I am quite a person where, for instance, from the day she died to her funeral, I went into work and I worked. That's just me as a person. I like to focus on other things. I like to be like, right, okay, next thing, what can we do? How do I move forward from this? I like to block it out. I don't think about it. Quite cold-hearted, as in I don't show much emotion. Well, I never used to, but I do now. I don't really cry at things. I don't really get upset. I don't get upset in front of other people. That's just how I am. And because I suppressed them feelings so much at the time, around about a year later, things really hit me, especially when I was getting me first shop with the business. When I was getting this, it really affected me mentally, and trying to grow a business whilst a year later, because I've suppressed all them feelings and they just all came out at the same time, it was really hard, and I hit some really low points at that time. So just to backtrack a little bit, at the time when I mean, I do find it quite laughable now. At the time when me mum passed away, I actually went to go and see a counsellor, and the counsellor was like, what's your issues, like what's going on? And I said, well, you know, my mum's passed away, and I haven't got time to deal with them emotions, so can you just sort me out, and then I can move on then, and I can like not move on from what's happened, but I can start focusing on my career. I don't want to. And she was like, well, I can't really deal with an issue that you haven't got yet. So for me, I just wanted to get things sorted, for things to be a quick fix. Nothing like that in life is ever a quick fix, and we knew that, I knew that. But for me at the time, I just thought, well, if I go in and see a counsellor straight away, I'm never going to have these mental health issues. I just wanted to prevent me from having them mental health issues, because I didn't want them mental health issues or them thoughts or them feelings to affect my life and my business and what I was doing with work and how I was going to go forward, because I just felt like I didn't have time for it. And it's quite laughable now to think that like I actually walked into a counselling room saying, fix me, I don't know what my problems are, but fix me, because I don't want nothing to ever affect me in life. So that at that time, that's when that happened. So obviously went away from that counselling session, and she told me that, you know, sometimes we put a lid on them feelings, and them feelings never ever pop out and come out, but sometimes in life something might just happen, and the next thing, the lid's off the box and everything's unleashed. And that's what I wanted to stop from happening, but you can't stop that from happening. It will always happen. You've just got to learn how to deal with it, and how you can control them feelings at the time. So I'd say around 12 months later, I'd say, was when we decided that we were going to get Model Standard's first clinic. So we went and got the shop. Everything was so exciting. I remember I was going away with the girls. We were going on a girls' holiday the same day that we signed the paperwork. Obviously, getting a business anyway is nerve-wracking, and you know, you're putting all your money into something, you don't know whether it's going to work out, and it's stressful. And how are you going to find the staff? How are you going to manage? How are you going to work 10 Instagram pages at the same time, and you know, live a life? And everyone in a business feels the exact same, and it never gets easier because things always crop up. But that's where I was at that point in my life, which I wanted to do. And that's when I really realised that I'd really hit a point of possibly a little bit of mental health issues. So we got the shop in around August. My dad done it up. It was a gorgeous shop. We spent loads of money on it, and every day up until probably around last year, I'd walk into the shop and people would be like, oh, it's so amazing, and it's so gorgeous, and what have you done, like the things you've done with it, and blah blah blah. I would never see that. The whole build up of the setup of the shop and getting it done, and the first 3 months from like the August when we got it, right up until Christmas, that was when I really struggled, because it was the first massive step in my life that I'd taken where my mum wasn't there. So whereas most people, you just ring your mum and be like, I'm just gonna have to pause this. Okay, we're back. So let me just go with this. There we go. So yeah, that was the first point in my life where something huge was happening and something big was going on, and you do want to ring your mum and you want to be like, how should we decorate it? How should we do this? Am I doing well? Can I have some advice? And no, I have my dad, and he is absolutely amazing, but you know, no one can replace that person. No one can. So that was a huge thing for me at that time. Whether you realise you're having them feelings or not, it does become a point where things start happening to your body physically. your mind when you're out all the time. So for instance, me and Jordan would be going food and we'd be in a pub, we'd be in a restaurant, and he'd be speaking to me, and I remember that it happened quite a few times where we'd ordered food and we'd be sat down and he'd be speaking to me and everything was quite blurred. All I could really hear was noises around me and everyone's conversation going on, and I couldn't really concentrate on him. My body would overheat. I started to get little pains in my neck. I'd be sweating and my heart would be racing so quick. And I literally remember just being like, we need to get out of here. So we would just leave before food even came. They were the first few little things that I started to notice. And then physically, a lot where like I'd be sleeping overnight and I kind of felt like a phone, like when a phone vibrates, my body was vibrating overnight. And that's where like my head is overthinking so much. And my brain's just absolutely chocker, where every time I put my head on a pillow, I'd feel like I had to wake up because the vibrations that were happening inside my body, and no one really understood that. Obviously, been to see a doctor and things, and you know, there was no reason why it could be like that. Everything was fine, my bloods was done, I was perfectly fine. And then until one night when we were actually in bed, and Jordan said he physically seen my body actually shaking and vibrating. And it was quite a scary thing because we didn't really know what was going on at that time. So that's when I decided to, Jordan looked into things and looked up on things, and obviously like we thought, well, it could be stress, could be anxiety. We didn't really know what it was, but we went back to see the counsellor that I had originally been to see the year before, and she really helped me. So I was having all these like kinds of feelings where like I was in bed, I was tired, I didn't want to get out of bed, I didn't want to do that day, and I'd think, oh God, I've got to get up and do the same thing again tomorrow, and like I didn't want to have to, I just want to stay in bed all day. I didn't want to go out and I didn't really want to socialise, and you kind of block people a little bit out of your life. But because I knew I really needed help at this point, because them thoughts should never really ever been going into my head. I actually went to see the counsellor then and got some help. So Donna is a clinical hypnotist who I went to see. So what she done was it was a counselling session, but they actually partially hypnotised you as well to kind of look back into your life and ask you questions. You're well aware in the room of everything that's getting said, but it just makes you go back through your life and kind of see at the point which really affected you and how that's like still affecting you now. And it just kind of makes you aware of them things, and then she gives you tools on how to deal with them things. So from that point on, from around the August when we got the shop, I did start to have quite a lot of panic attacks, quite a lot, all the time as well, over different things and certain things. And this went on until I was seeing Donna from around, I'd say September till around December, the beginning of December, and it felt much better. And then I had a year period, or got to around August again, then the year later, where I started to have the same feelings, and I was like, geez, like I got rid of these last year, like why are they coming back? Obviously we know that there's no point in life where we can just stop, have a cure for anxiety or have a cure for like them feelings that we get. But it was around the same time every year, not the month that my mum passed away or anything like that. It was the month that I'd made that big commitment in life that she weren't there. It was that realisation again when it was the shop's first birthday. I should be proud and I should be made up and I should be excited, but that just reminded me that it had been a year of this achievement where my mum weren't there again, and all them feelings started to come back again. All the anxiousness, all the like sleepless nights, not wanting to get out of a bed in the morning and things like that, they all came back. So again, I then went back to see Donna again until around the Christmas time. And there is tools that we can learn ourselves, things like meditation. It's not for everyone, people don't like it, people get frustrated by it, but that was something that really helped me, because I realised that I need to start doing things daily, not just over a 3-month period, to help your mind, because your mind and your body is the key to everything in life. So you need a clear mind and everything to then progress to things that you want in the future, which we know. So that's what I wanted. Everyone just wants a clear mind. No one wants monkey mind going on all the time where like your brain's thinking a million different things. So you need to learn tools at home which can help that, rather than just going in one session a month to see the counsellor. Obviously going in to see Donna one session a month really helped me, but that's only 1 hour out of the whole month. So I did realise that there was things I needed to do at home to work on myself and to make sure that these things didn't crop up again in the future. So yeah, so I carried on seeing Donna again till around about the Christmas time, where I felt much better and had learned some tools that worked for me. And I haven't been back to Donna now for 17 months, I think it is, since. So I am very proud of that. However, there's nothing wrong with going to see a counsellor, going to seek some extra help. You know, you go to the gym you go to a PT to seek some extra help to train. You go to get facials because you want some extra help in your skincare because you can't do it all at home. So there's nothing wrong with going to see counsellors and asking for help. Asking for help is like, it just lifts such a massive weight off your shoulders. I actually remember one session in particular that I had with Donna, and it was one of my last sessions. She really tapped into something super deep that I never ever realised was an issue for me. And so when I was hypnotised, she asked me why was I like feeling this way at the time, and what is it that was really affecting me. And nothing has ever came up in past sessions with Donna about what has affected me. But for me, I knew I was saying it at the time, but what came out was the fact that I'd felt so guilty for the fact that whilst my mum was ill, for the first, so it was a 3.5 year period, for the first year, I'd say year and a half, I was so selfish. I was still going out all the time. I wasn't spending much time with her. Well, not as much as I felt like I should have been. I was going out a lot, and I was focused on work. I was more bothered about going to work and having my own social life and doing my own things. And then it was only the last couple of years when she was sick, I spent lots of time with her, especially because I am self-employed, so it's easy to, do set days and do certain things, and I spent more time with her. And as a child growing up, I was quite a bit of I wasn't an angel, let's put it that way, so I didn't give her the best kind of life growing up, but so that really must have affected me mentally, as in I felt like I'd really not let her down, but I hadn't been the best version of myself as I was growing up for her. And also that I didn't spend as much time with her as I should have, and I felt really guilty for that. But once I let that out and I realised that that was an issue for me, Donna then reminded me that that's just life, that's just how we act, and there's nothing wrong with acting like that. And I didn't do anything wrong. Nothing that I ever done would ever stop her from passing away or affect her life how it was. And I was a kid growing up, and that first year when she was sick and I felt like I didn't spend as much time with her, there's nothing wrong with that, because we still have to live our lives day to day. We still have to do things as normal as we always would, and you can't live in regret because of that. So they were after that session, I remember I walked out and I literally felt like a weight had been lifted so much off my shoulders, and I honestly couldn't believe how I felt. And I think that was the point where I realised I could do things at home to help, and I realised a lot of things in my life then. I look back and I realised so much, and I have a different outlook so much on things in life as well now. Which is a positive, that that's what you want. You want to look at things in a good light, and I look at the way I sit back sometimes and look at the way you treat people, or because I have done that a little bit different, or don't realise what someone else is going through. So why do you want to make their day 10 times worse? Or is there a way of making things easier for people, or, you know, like helping people out, or just like giving people a smile in the street? If someone's having a really, really bad day and you smile at them in the street, that might make them feel 10 times better. But if you do the complete opposite, it could make them feel 100 times worse. So my outlook in life after seeing Donna on that one session, it was like the best £70 I'd ever spent. I walked out and I was like, wow. But I realised that, you know, I was so lucky to have that kind of session so early in, because it was only my second year of counselling. Some people never get that, and I was so lucky that it came up. And, you know, because I was working on me at home as well and doing things, and I was more open to letting her in. And I think that session when I was hypnotised, I remember I cried so much whilst I was hypnotised, and when I sat up I was like, I don't even know why I'm crying. And ever since then, all I ever seem to do is cry at things. I cry all the time. I watched Iron Man the other day. He died. Sorry if anyone hasn't seen it, the new Avengers, but I sobbed so hard. And so things have changed for me so much since I've done that. But seeing a counsellor is completely fine. I've seen one. I would go back tomorrow if I felt like there was any issues. Sometimes every now and then I do think it would be worthwhile going to see her every other month, just to keep things at bay, because things can build up in my head so easily, so quickly, and it's hard just to stop them feelings from happening and suppressing them. So yeah, so that was my counselling experience anyway, with Donna. And now I know I mentioned that she was £70 a session, so that is quite expensive for a counselling session, but I was so lucky at the time that we could afford to pay that, because it's what I really needed. And I'd known Donna through a friend, and I knew that she was really, really good, and that's what I wanted to spend my money on, rather than going out over weekends. I weren't going out, I weren't spending money doing that, so I paid money to go and see Donna. If you do want Donna's details, I can send you them over. Just make sure to send me a message somehow. I don't know, you can send messages on YouTube, but head over to my Instagram, which is Model Standards, and you can send me a message on there, and I'll just give you her details. You know, I will never ever mention to anyone that you've asked for them or anything like that. And she sees people for loads of different things in life. On the other hand though, you know, we have so many amazing counsellors that work for the NHS, and now there's a little bit of a waiting list, but there's counsellors that you can go and see with them, and there's loads of other people that you can go and see. Just there's online counselling that you can get now if you need quick help, like straight away. There's things like that online, and there's other tools that you can use, not just counselling. Jordan did last year around August again. Obviously I didn't go and see Donna, but I knew things were starting to crop up a little bit. Nowhere near as bad as they ever was, but so Jordan done a little bit of research, and I was trying to diet as well at the same time, and he had a little look into intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting is something that I do on and off now, when I'm like, one, trying to diet, and two, trying to clean my brain. It is I was vegetarian at one point in my life for 18 months, and people used to say, oh my God, do you feel amazing? You know, you're not eating meat. And I never felt amazing. The best time I've ever felt, energy-wise, level-wise, and mind clearance and happy, was when I've been intermittent fasting. So I don't know whether you know anything about intermittent fasting. I'm not going to go into it loads. You can just YouTube it, have a little look at some videos. But intermittent fasting is where you don't eat for a 16 to 18 hour period, and you only eat for 8 to 6 hours out of the day. So what that basically means is I tend to eat around 12 till 8 p.m. in the day, and then from 8 p.m. till 12 p.m. the next day, I can't eat any food. You can drink water, and you can drink black coffee, and you can drink tea. Just can't have any milk. You just don't eat anything. So you're only eating for an 8 hour period during the day. Obviously diet wise, that's amazing, because it stops your late night snacking, and you're getting loads of water in because you're filling up in them times. And then over a period of time, you kind of drop it down to 2 till 8. You can choose whatever times you want in the day. 9 till 5 might work for you, but I like to sleep through some of my fasting so that I'm not thinking about it. And what happens after a little bit of time, even a week into it, the first week can be quite hard, is that your body gets used to it and you store so much energy for your brain. So I don't really know the details. I was having a little look this morning so I could sound like clever and tell you everything that happens, but I do know that Jordan looked into it for anxiety and how it helps your brain, how it helps you to mentally like do well, and the brain, what it does to your brain cells. And I think what happens is your liver stores glucose, and then when you're fasting for a certain amount of time, the glucose levels are really low, but then that does something. I wanted to sound like clever, but it does something for your brain cells, and it makes your brain cells like so much more active, and it helps you so much more. And I've had a couple of clients who've actually done this, who have talked to them about this, and one of them actually came in and said, a boyfriend said that I'm so much happier. I'm such a happy person, and it is so true. You just jump out of bed in the morning, and it does help massively. And that's the only time in life where I've gone like, that has helped me very, very well. And also you lose so much weight by doing it, and you like, it monitors what you're eating, and you know, because you're only eating for that period of time as well. So although it's a thing for a diet, it's really, really good for mental health. So have a little look on YouTube and have a little look how that works as well. But it's called intermittent fasting. Give it a try. I'm on day 9 now of my new cycle of when I've started. Sorry, day 10. Yesterday was the first day. I woke up and I was like, wow, I've got so much energy. I woke up before my alarm went off, and I felt so energized. I didn't actually start eating until I think it was 3-4 o'clock yesterday, because my body just didn't need it. And I was out until 9 p.m. and I was so awake and alert. I had so many thoughts going through my head for the business. There were so many things I wanted to do, and I was thinking, this is crazy. I haven't even ate that much today, and my brain is working so well. It wouldn't usually work like this. So that is something that you should definitely look into. Obviously, as normal, I've rambled on and said a million things in this video. Is probably going to be dead long, and some of the things you're probably not even going to be bothered about what I've talked about, and that's fine. Just don't carry on watching it. But yeah, so that's where I'm up to in life at the minute. Things are going quite well. There is still times where I need to sit back, and we always need to work on ourselves, like I said. And I am thinking about booking in a session every now and then with Donna. But I just also wanted to mention, I have mentioned a few times about Jordan like looking into things or helping me out with certain things, and it's always good to have a good support system around you. I do feel really lucky. Jordan really understood so quickly things with my mental health, and he really looked into things and how he could help me and how we can deal with the situation around me. And you have got to remember that for people who don't have it, it's hard for them to understand what you're going through, and they don't really get why you're having them feelings, because they don't get them feelings themselves. So just give people, if you've got a new boyfriend, or you know, your first time you're telling friends about it, just sit down, and instead of getting angry with them for not understanding, just maybe explain to them you have these feelings and this is why, and let them get used to the feelings too, because they've got to learn to, if you've got a boyfriend and you're around them 24/7 and they just don't understand why you get that, don't get a cop on with them for not understanding it. Just, you know, let them understand it as well, and then having a good support system around you and having them understand it just really, really, really does help. And like I said, just try and, you know, smile to people rather than snarling them and things like that. And yeah, just just try and be nice to people when you can, and you know, you want to make someone feel better about themselves. You don't want to make someone feel 10 times worse, but we're not angels all the time. We are just only human. And also, unfortunately, some situations that we have in life, we we can't control. There's nothing we can do about it. We're not God, I'm not an Avenger. Like, we can't control them things. They're gonna happen. So just try and learn how to deal with things. And you know, the more we talk to people, the better it is. And the more you can open up. There's nothing wrong with getting upset or crying or like showing a little bit of weakness. It's not that you're weak. If you're speaking up about things, it shows that you're quite strong-minded, because you're speaking up about it because you're ready to move on from that situation or get some help, and that shows strength. That's not weakness. So yeah, that's the end of my first YouTube video. I hope you all I hope it helped anyway, and that's just a little bit about me and my story about anxiety, and just a couple of little tools that I've used. If you do want to send me over any questions about anything that like I've spoke about or anything like that, just feel free to, and I'll get back to you when I can do. Thank you. Hope you all have a lovely week this week, and I'll try and post some content on this YouTube channel as and when I can, and probably as and when I feel up to it as well, when I'm not super nervous. So thank you again for watching.